baby, come back. Oh, baby, come back to me. Baby, come back. Oh, baby, come back to me. Hey, 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 hey. It is Thursday, day, right here on the Eternal Chronicles Live. Live, and in effect. Oh, I'm shrunken. There. Oh, hey, those aren't mine. What is that? That's interesting. That must have just. I better be careful and make sure that all the photos that are actually in the slideshow are fit for view, because there might be some in there that aren't. How's everybody doing? I'm Christian from the Eternal Chronicles. I'm gonna adjust my camera because I feel like I'm a really big head in a tight space right now. So, you ready for it? You ready for it? Oh, that's the gentle touch. Did that work? Maybe. Oh no! Now you can see my overhead camera. Heh. Well, I'll just sit like this. There we go. So how's everybody doing? Christian from the Eternal Chronicles. This is the Eternal Chronicles Live. I haven't been live for 2 days. I missed the last 2 days because what does Jeff Goldblum say in Jurassic Park? Life finds a way, right? So real life interfered, and my focus has been elsewhere in a lot of ways. I'm starting to do a lot more intensive exercising. So that's sort of where my focus is, and I'm looking at just getting healthy and getting clean in my mind and in my body. And I've got some pictures of my Iron Hands here on the screen. That's my assault squad. They're pretty cool. And I keep saying a lot because I'm trying to figure out how to apologize to my loyal viewers, all two of you right now, for missing the last 2 days of streams just because of things that have been getting in the way. And I'm sure that you all understand, and I'm sure that it doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. But I haven't forgotten you, dear viewers, whatever that means. And I haven't really been doing much painting, unfortunately. So the same distractions that have kept me from doing this stream, that's one of the earliest models I ever painted, and I still own it. Very early model. That model was probably painted with testers enamels. And these are not mine. I don't know where this came from. This is someone's Tau. I think I must have saved the picture on random. And that is a Gale Force 9 heavy gear Southern something. Oh, can't even see all those guys. I can move that over so you can see. These are my Grey Knights, and you can see those are painted quite well. And there's just a goblin, that I chose to randomly use as the goblin for whatever. And that's a nice old Eldar Guardian that I painted, and that was a model that I used a lot of glazes and highlighting on. And it was one of the first times I did that. I did that in like the mid-90s. These are going too fast. I can't really narrate them. This is Space Hulk Librarian, unfinished. If you can see what's unfinished on him, there is definitely an unfinished thing quite apparent. But he's very cool. Yeah. My Iron Hands are pretty cool. I just don't really like painting black power armor, which is maybe why these have stalled a bit. Because as I said, I haven't been painting. And what I was working on before were my bikes. And I had an idea. And the idea was originally to do these guys as like different, as a separate sect from my Mantis Warrior. So I'm going to switch to the overhead here. We'll take a look at these bad boys. So you can see what has resulted. I think this is interesting and cool and different, and I'm going to run with it. I've sort of been back and forth on it. I actually need to, because I use the mask, there's a bit of like a wake buildup on the sides here. So I just happen to have some extremely fine grit rubbing paper. I wouldn't even call it sandpaper. So this is 1,000 grit. Now these are God Hand. So this is 1,000 grit, and it's like a sanding stick, and it's foamy. It's quite good for I use it for all kinds of things, especially cleaning mold lines on plastic models. This is 8,000, so this is almost like a smooth surface. So when I look at the areas here that I realize is a bit of like a wake from the paint, and then the removal of the mask, so there's a bit of a buildup along the edges. That's when something like an 8,000 grit sanding stick comes in, because I don't want to ruin this paint job, but at the same time I kind of want to flatten it out a bit. So 8,000 is kind of perfect for the job, and you'll see, or maybe you won't see, maybe you can't see, because you probably can't even see, but I can feel the texture here. So just a quick rub over should just flatten that out. And anything more, anything like rougher than this, oh yeah, that's great, will potentially pull off your paint. So just gently, and you'll see there's a bit of it rubbed off there, and that's nice and flat again. Or at least it's flat enough that you don't notice the, I can still kind of feel the texture, because obviously there's layers of paint there, but it doesn't feel, and I can't see it with the naked eye, which is important. Whereas here I can still see the wake with the naked eye. But once a little bit of this, so I'm going to run with this. So I'm going to do a bit more masking and painting on some of the other ones. By some of the other ones, I mainly mean on the other side of this one. I also have 3 more of these I need to still assemble. So that's 3 more I'm going to have to do. So let's see what's going on in the chat. I've got one person in the chat there, Inquisitor Shavak. Don't worry about it. I got kids and a job, etc. Yeah, it happens. The Eldar model is what I pictured as the Inquisitor who was killed and an Eldar armor in the old Inquisitor book. Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure I know what you're referencing, but I will endeavor to rectify that. So anyway, so I think I'm going to do some taping up here. You can see I've done this hazard striping here, so I might just try and duplicate the same sort of angle and striping on this side. Or I might do something completely different. But let's grab that mask again. So yeah, it's just, and I was actually going to paint Rogue Trader on stream today, and finish her and work on the other space punk. But in terms of the stream and in terms of where it's going to do, I always kind of figured that doing it at 12 noon in my time zone, so 12 noon Eastern, would be probably not sustainable, just because with life as it is, having something like this that takes my focus into the midday. And like I said, like this is not a monetized project at this point. This is just me bumming around with, just trying to see right over the bolt, and then about an inch above that. So this needs to come down. Right? Yeah. Do I want to? Yeah, right over the bolt. Keep. How many times are you going to check? As many times as it takes to understand exactly what it is I need to be doing here. I just want to match these up as best as possible. That should do it. Probably just a little tiny bit higher at the bottom here, just so that we get the angle approximately correct. Yeah, there we go. And that's the thing about this particular Tamiya mask, is it's stretchy and bendable, so you can actually make curves with it. But right now I'm good with straight lines, and I just want that to be just touching the bottom of the bolt. Perfect. So I get the one angle down, and then the rest of them should be pretty easy to fill in. So yeah, so I think what I'm still going to do the stream. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it every day, Monday to Friday on noon until whenever. It's just becoming a midday distraction from priorities, and unfortunately the priorities take priority, right? So yeah, so I'm going to do something different next week. I'm going to schedule the streams ahead of time, and then that way people will be able to see what I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to theme the day. So one day I'm going to do Rogue Trader, and then the other day I'm going to work on my Mantis Warriors or on other projects that are not necessarily. So I'll figure out what. Okay, it just touches it. What each day is going to be, and then we'll go from there. And I will have those scheduled up, and I will post them onto the Eternal Chronicles Facebook, and then that's where my schedule for the next week will be, and hopefully that works out. I may have to. I mean, obviously, again, life is going to find a way. Okay, that's good. And a lot of it also has to do with the fact that, like I said, although we are heading into winter, so my friend and I are both determined to exercise outside in the winter because there's no gyms open. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty straight. That's pretty straight. So he's a personal trainer, so he's challenging me to do this with him, and I'm hoping that the goal is to keep doing it over winter, all the way through. And this is Canadian winter. This isn't your West Coast rainy winter. This is a good East Coast Canadian winter, and we'll see what this winter is going to be like. Let's go about there. I did not need this much mask for this part. Yep, that's pretty good. Actually, it might need to straighten up just a bit here. This is where those a bit thick. It's funny how what do they call it? Not situational awareness, spatial awareness. This is all spatial awareness, because I ain't measuring any of this. This is just all eyeballing. Yeah, I think that needs to come down just slightly. There we go. Look straight to you. Look straight to me. It's hard to estimate the gap in and out, right? Let's get our last piece here. So this goes from there to there. I might need a longer. No, that should be okay. Yeah. We'll get a slightly longer piece, so we have. So what's everybody else working on? Rogue, let's see, here we go. So, got some suggestions for my schedule. Mantis Mondays, Rogue Trader Tuesdays, Outside in Canada Winter Wednesday Insanity, Throwback Thursday. Wouldn't Throwback Thursday and Rogue Trader Tuesday be the same thing? Or in Throwback Thursday, then I could do fantasy. I've got a lot of fantasy stuff I still need to paint. Oh my god. For my 3rd/5th edition Orc and Goblin stuff. How does that go? It does cross right over that pretty deep. About there. And then we need to get this piece up and straighten that out. Oh, this guy's bolter's in the way. Silly bolt pistol. Heavy bolt pistol. It's a pretty cool weapon. I must say. It's a good... I think my buddy and I were counting in the new Space Marine Codex how many bolters there are. I think it was like 48. There's like 48 different bolt weapons in the Space Marine Codex. If you count like all the combi weapons and like the light versions, the heavy versions, it's pretty insane. Just go to the back of the Space Marine Codex and look at the weapon summary. count the number of times you read the word bolter. It's pretty silly. All right. And then I need a fudge one down on the bottom here. Maybe I can grab a tiny... Where'd that tiny bit of mask go? There it is. Now we'll paint. We'll stick that on, and then we'll do some painting. So let's see. I can't find my good pair of tweezers, which is why I'm doing this all with my hands. I probably need to clean up my desk. Probably need to clean up my room. But we'll fudge it in. We'll fudge it in with a knife because that's... Or we'll just fudge it in by hand. I think the other one I did by hand. Yeah. It's all going to be weathered under there anyways. Alright, so now we can get out our pont and do some painting. Pardon me for whacking the microphone there. Okay. And so I'm using a 2-step process, roughly 2 to 3 step highlight for this white. I'm using this snow shadow, which has a really great coverage, but it also requires a couple of coats. Over the mask, it's a little bit simpler, just because I'm painting lesser area, so I can go right to the white faster. Sorry, I'm just going to clean out the nozzle here on this sucker, because it's a little bit jumed. Gumming up the works. There we go. And grab a trusty rusty paintbrush. So we're just going to start with the blue. This is just the shadow color, and it's going over the whole thing. So we'll start from here. You guys probably saw this the other day, so it's a lot more exciting now, I'm sure. But I'm liking how these guys are kind of coming out. It's outside of my comfort zone for painting in a lot of ways, so I kind of like that. I'm usually just painting block colors on Space Marine armor when doing this sort of stuff. Definitely don't use mask very often when painting, that's for sure. We'll just fudge this one. Excusez-moi. There we go. Alright, so we'll let that dry, and then we'll do the next coat. I'm going to get out my white that I'm going to use, which is Reaper HD. So again, this is extra super pigmented, but you can't read the label. I can barely read the label, but it's something white. Begins with an S. Solid white. There you go. F it Friday. I do what you want during that day. Yeah, it's I'm gonna have to see how things go over the next little while. Again, the schedule. What do they call it on TV? The time slot. The time slot is the problem. I'm just actually going to grab some of this and do a second coat on this front fork up here, because for some reason it didn't get painted, even though it's one on the other side over here did. So I am kind of doing big block colors on these though, but I do like the using the mask to make some cool stripes, because I think, and I wanted to sort of avoid doing any like rising sun iconography, because they're, although that one is kind of rising. You can see I messed up the bottom one. The angle's all off, but I don't care. I don't care. It just means that on one of the other 5 that I have to paint, I have to do better, right? Your best paint job is your last paint job. Is that the philosophy? There we go. Here's layer number 2. I'll probably do, yeah, definitely do one more after that. And then I can work on the red for a bit. I don't want to do solid white over that though. So almost solid white. Tiny bit of blue in it still. I'll save the solid as solid white for, because it's thin, it also is a little translucent, so the blue underneath it will show through, which is what you want. It's the illusion of depth. Oh, it's an illusion. There we go. Let's grab some more white down here. There we go. Sweet. And then each rider, I'm thinking it's going to be mostly black armor. This guy, I did his legs in red, so I might add a bit more color hither and dither. But for the most part, I kind of like it all red. Maybe I should do the whole hand red, not just the greave thing, whatever. They do look all good together. Oh, I can ink this guy's head. That was the head that I glued back on. That was like so long ago now. No, it wasn't. It was Monday. Yeah, well, a lot's changed in the last 48 hours. 48 hours? Oh, yeah, 2 days. It's been 2 days. Oops. Oops. No, let's get a bit more better wash there. So should I talk about the news of the day? Are we getting Van Sar today? Previewed on the Games Workshop community channel website. I think they're going to start showing off the House of Artifice stuff. Yeah, the time slot is the problem. That's ultimately what it is. The problem is finding a better time slot. This is the time of day where I have the place to myself. There's no child around. Which she becomes the star of whatever show whatever room she happens to be in. So it's hard to find solitude, and so Monday to Friday in the middle of the day is pretty much solitude time around here. Oh, look, I found my tweezers. Yay. Good times. These are some like reverse pressure tweezers, so this is great for... I'm actually going to do one more coat on the white here because it's still a little blue, and this is almost all white now, so we'll just be gentle with it and make sure we're just putting white where we think we should have the purest white. There we go. There we go. I am like the Bob Ross of miniature painting. And if you get a little bit of paint on it, then it's just a happy mistake, right? Actually, unify those highlights there across, because this is all going to have to get a bit more white on it. White is one of those colors where you can almost never get it. It's really hard for you to see because it's pretty washed out. But you can see up here, you can highlight white forever. You can just always, because it'll always just be more white, but it'll never be perfect white. You never get it right up to, you know. You can always add more. There we go. All right, I think we're ready to peel that that mask off. Luke, help me take off this mask. Tweezers, help me take off this mask. What? 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 There we go. It's a little bit of cleanup to do, but we'll let that set and let that cure, and then I can go back in tomorrow and sand it, like I did on the other side with the little buffing stick. But that looks pretty good. Well, that's kind of cool, isn't it? Isn't it? I asked you a question, Mr. Bond. Do you like my motorcycle, Mr. Bond? There we go. Comedy stylings. And then this one. So this one, I like the black lining. And I guess this guy's kind of going to be my sergeant, or my squad's. Yeah, he'll be my sergeant, so that's why he'll have the extra red on him. This guy, I think I did one knee pad red. Maybe it's like in Japanese wrestling dojos, where the more experience you get, the more ring gear they give you. You start in black trunks and black boots, not even knee pads. If you're like a ring boy, if you're like a junior coming into a wrestling dojo in Japan, you're not allowed to wear knee pads for the first year because they just want your knees to just take it, and then you go, okay, so now here's some knee pads for you. Now you understand. I'm sure there's some reason for that. Anyways, and this guy's all over the place. This guy's got he's got horizontal stripes on one side, and then like a diagonal burst of striping on the other side, and then a racing stripe down the middle. Yeah, this is the guy who, when he moves into your neighborhood and he starts putting shit on his lawn, and you're like, oh, gonna bring down the property value. All right. So I'm gonna show you how I want to do the red, and this guy will be a good one for that. So we'll let sleeping bikes lie. Gotta find a better brush for this. Oh no, that brush will work. Fine. So as you know, I've been using, if you've been watching the previous streams, you know that the red I'm using is a high density crimson red, 29801 Reaper high density series HD. So that was the base coat, and then I washed that with a secret weapon. Sorry, I'm just turning around my wet palette here to get to a nice clean spot over here. Not over here. Well, actually, it's pretty clean over here. I could go over here, just so you can see the paint. There we go. So there it is. It's pretty thick. Dries flat. You can water it down quite a bit. It thins out quite nicely. You can see it is quite thick. So, and you can thin it with a little bit of water. So one thing I like about these Reaper series is that the HD ones especially, because they're so density thick. They're just really nice paints to paint with. So what I'm going to do is I'm now just going to go back over the crimson with the wash, and just sort of grab my edge highlights and fill in some of the paint, especially along here, right, where you want to add a highlight so that your lines stand out even more. And this is just bringing it back up to the red, leaving that wash translucent underneath. You can see my coats are pretty thin. Where there's like white paint here where it needs to be corrected, I can just go back over that. And I can throw a little bit of wash on top of that if I need to. That's going to be metallic, whatever that is. And then down here, it doesn't really, And then we'll do the fender. Same sort of idea, just hitting the high points. Does it seem dark today? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. There we go. There we go. And we'll leave it underneath because it should be nice and dark. So I'm trying to leave a lot of the darker tone, the darkened crimson tone underneath. Because I find on larger things like a bike or something like that, you're better off accentuating your shadows, I guess. So, but you just kind of want to clean it up. Especially around transition areas. So, like around where this becomes white, and I have to go back in and clean up some there, and then here. But you want to leave that there. And by that I mean the wash between the forks here and the fender over top. You want to leave that dark because that way it creates that shadow for you. Some more paint. There we go. Right up at the front here. Just a bit more back here, just because it's a little dark. There we go. I'm going to need a perm. You could not perm this hair. It would be amazing to see me with a perm. My hair is very fine. And as you can see, it's generally straight. Except that I tend to wear it unkempt. Which is to say, there we go, just around here, just adding some more red on there, especially here where this red is now going to transition to that white. You want to add to brighten it up where the transition point happens. All right, and then these like little cutouts, details. Cry out to be red. And I've got to figure out the highlight color for this red. It may end up just being, we might go with the heavy ochre. This is also an extra opaque, but this is a Vallejo Game Color opaque. This stuff is really thick, but it also, its coverage is weird. But mixing it with the Reaper might work. I might also use, I might go more to the, I want to go less orange. So I don't really want it to come out orange. I don't want the highlights to come out orange. So I almost want the top highlights to be a fairly bright red. So the other option is I use this, which is an extremely bright red, and I mix this with, and I blend up from the crimson to this, which is where I think I might end up going with this, as opposed to using a yellow. Because that way we just keep the red nice and deep and red. So you can see good, decent coverage there. We're just not going to bring it all the way back. We're going to keep some shadow here for the little pop-up. I don't know what this is. I guess there's some kind of instrumentation in there. Or maybe it's just a vent so we can get some fresh air in his face. Because all his instrumentation seems to be down here on the handlebars. I don't really know what's going on inside here. But, yeah. Alright, so let's moment of truth time on this. There we go. We'll have to go deep for this part under here. And over here. Yeah. Whoops. Oh. Time to get out the white paint and fix that. Add some extra red here. Hey, have no fear, Torben's here. How's it going, Torben? I am just panting some Spas Marines. I loves to paint Spas Marines. They are one of my favorite things to paint. I should talk about all the times I've painted Space Marines. The first Space Marine I ever painted was a set of 2. There was a captain, and he had his hand raised, and he had a chain sword. He was kind of bionic in the face. And the model that was in the blister that came with him was the wounded guy who's got like the wounded knee, and he's all like, woo. That's literally what his face looks like. He's got this wounded knee. So I painted both of those. I painted the captain-y looking guy first, and I thought he was really cool. And then after that, I painted plastic beakies, because metal Space Marines were really hard to get over here in Toronto, in Canada, in 1988, 1989. We could get the box, the RTB01 box, but seeing metal Marines and blisters was really rare, and that's because they were being snagged up by all the serious Warhammer 40k players. Not me and my friend at 12, 13 years old thinking we're the coolest playing Warhammer, or thinking we're not the coolest, and pretty much being assured of our non-coolness playing Warhammer, painting miniatures. So that's the first Space Marines. And then painted a whole lot of metal Space Marines, metal chaplains. When the chaplains came out, I got a blister that had like, I think it was 2 blisters, and you had all 6. Like they were like 3 per blister. So I remember, I think we may have split some of the chaplains, but then I had all the Tech Marines. I thought the Tech Marines were so cool, because they are cool. I have like 1 or 2 of the old Tech Marines still, but I'd love to collect. I would love to be able to have all 6 of the Tech Marine sculpts. I have a Tech Marine on a jet bike, so I've got the bonus. That's the bonus one. It's like, oh, you've got all 6 Tech Marines. Do you have the Tech Marine on a jet bike? And then I can pull it out and be like, yeah, I do. I do have the Tech Marine on a jet bike. And boom! Owned! Served, son! Could you imagine? It's like if real life was such as that. It's almost more entertaining that way. You just go along with it, right? Anyways. I'm having some existential crises these days. It's influencing my painting. And just my general mentality. I was having long conversations with a friend of mine about nihilism. We were both agreed that we're not nihilists, but we can definitely see the appeal. It's like, yeah, it might just be just to give up and just, like, just say, hey, I cannot change what I can't change, so if I can't change anything, then I don't have to change. I've lowered my expectations to a point where they're already met. Um, yeah, so we had a long conversation about nihilism, and we both decided at the end of the day that what they say in The Big Lebowski, it sounds exhausting. We are nihilists. Nihilists sounds exhausting. We believe in nothing. There we go. So that's the first layer of red on the bike, and I'll have to go back over that with the shiny bright, and we'll see how that goes. So let's see what's going on in the chat, because there seems to be a whole lot of stuff going on in the chat. So is this the end of Zombie Shakes the Eternal Chronicles Live? No, it is not the end. Not the end, just possible rescheduling. Generally, yeah. It's, like I said, doing Monday to Friday in the middle of the day. I can probably do a few days in the week, but to get 5 out of me at this point where things are going is going to be hard. And I'm not sure which days are going to work the best. Probably until the Sunday beforehand. So we'll see. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm going to endeavor to do a stream tomorrow. In fact, I should be able to do a stream tomorrow. There's no reason that I can see right now why I can't do a stream tomorrow. And Saturday stream is probably not going to happen right this second, but it's definitely something that can come back. And oh, look at that. Let's do this face. So I've got very little paint on my brush now, as you can see, because what I want to do is I just kind of want to gently pick out the details on this face as I sort of sweep the brush forward. Trying to gently pick out those details because it'll make it easier to paint them in the long run if I can create some sort of a highlight transition to follow when I gotta get in there and paint it with a brush. But I like these faces. They're kind of, it's hard to see, but they've got like tusks, and they're kind of your typical only face. I also want to do on the helmeting, I want to do some work with white as well, white and black as well. So I might do like these little flary things in here on the helmets. I've painted them different on other guys. You're not a good example. Find it a better example. Where I've done them yellow, most of the interior. So I might change those and make those white. But then again, that may then distract from this cool face under here, which I kind of want to keep intact. And then I've also got to figure out the horns, and they're not going to be pink horns. Whoever suggested that can go take a whatever. I'm so rude to my viewers. I don't deserve you. Anyways, is this guy my sergeant? No. So my sergeant will also have a white stripe down the middle on his helmet. And I can show this big scales. So let's just do this little part first. I'm just going to throw some paint here, leaving the wash and shadow around the what can now only be described as a crucifix on his arm. I think it's supposed to be a Indomitus Crusade badge, but it totally doesn't work for me. Doesn't matter. I was thinking of carving it off and actually putting something else on there, or just carving it off and leaving it completely blank. But I'm going to end up with a lot of this particular arm style in my army, because I'm also going to be using these arms on Blade Guard. So we'll see. You know, I could carve it off and just cover it in. I could either, if I can't smooth it down nicely, which I'm sure I can. Just not once it's on the model and got paint on it. I would have to do it in the assembly process. Cut those off. I might do that for my close combat intercessors. you can see I'm just gently adding another little layer of paint here on these scales. On these scales, it's particularly important to pay attention to sort of your highlights and your lights, because you want them to look, because they draw attention to themselves, right? Fine, let me just grab a model that is actually a good example of that. There we go. Here's an aggressor. So you can see, like, that shoulder pad just immediately draws attention to itself. Now it's because it's very, very bright and yellow, but even the red here, the highlights on the shoulder pad are really going to draw a lot of attention, so they need to be good. You need to have your shit together in terms of your application there. And no time like the present. Let's see what I can. A 2 minute to midnight stream. It's possible I'm going to do stuff in the evening. I'm usually really tired. It's funny. I go to bed like right after I put my kid to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I have no more energy now. I'm ready to go to bed. So I tend to end up going to bed, which is good because it means I'm getting a decent amount of sleep. But it also means that doing a 2 minutes to midnight stream would be, it's possible. It's improbable. Okay, so now I'm going to get a nice fine brush, and if I have a nice fine brush, you guys may get to see something happen on the Eternal Chronicles. It doesn't happen very often, which is me opening a new brush. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what's going on in the chat, because I see a name I recognize. Nico, stream should be from midnight to 4 on Fridays. Okay. Are you going to be up for the whole thing with me? It would be cool to do like a marathon stream, a marathon painting session. And you can sponsor me, and I'll collect money for charity. And by charity, I mean I'll collect money for more miniatures for me. You pay me to paint. You buy me miniatures, and I will paint them. So now I'm doing some lining. Oh, and just so you see, this is a Winsor Newton Series 7 Miniature Zero. This is a fantastic brush. I should really treat this brush with some reverence and respect, and I will, and we'll see how long that lasts. There's already paint creeping up there to the bezel. So this is a blend of the bright red and the crimson together. A little bit of each, make a little blend. A little more. It's not an exact science. I just kind of blend as I go. So, and then I just eyeball it so that everything kind of looks balanced when it's all good and done. And this is just simple lining. The trick to lining is using the edge of your brush to gently brush across the surface, and you will pick out the lines. It's art, not rocket science. Although, there we go. Got a jet. Keep up your good work. Thanks, Torben. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. All that good stuff. I'm sure you're already gone by the time I saw this. By the time I respond to it. There's quite the delay. And I have the latency set at the lowest possible, so. But I think there's still about 8 or 9 seconds of delay. There we go. That's the kind of red I'm talking about. Just a nice, sporty red. And that's going to have to come up a little bit more as well. So there'll be another, just corners and just the highest spots. We'll definitely bring that red up to And this is our intermediate now. Down here, I just want to kind of gently be careful. I don't want to put too much red on the bottom. I'm probably going to weather it down anyways. And that'll happen when I do the bases, because natural messy dry brushing results in potential weathering on your models. There we go. So that's that fender. We'll just get a bit of whatever up here and then around here. At this point, there's not a lot of paint on the brush, so whatever I'm putting down is just gonna dry in and help with the highlighting. There we go. Looking good. Hey, Tyler in the chat. If you did a 24-hour stream, you should hire me as a consultant producer. Hire you? You're like, here's what you need to do. First thing you need to do is pay me. Tyler just saunters into the chat room and goes, all right, how can I make some money in here today? We could have so much fun. I could have so much fun. All I have to do is pay Tyler. Okay, yep. Special guest, Bitsbox challenges. I vote for putting Tyler in charge. All right, let's do it. You send me the contract, Tyler. I'll have my people look at, and we'll sort this all out. I assume it's pay for play and all that good stuff. Yeah. Just here's what you need to do. First thing, pay me money, and then I'll tell you the second thing. I'm just waiting. I got it right here. I got the whole plan. It's all written down. I'm going to need you to do this one on spec. Tyler, don't you know how the business works? You always do the first one on spec. I learned that from Mo Fuzz of Mo Fuzz Records. And anyone who gets that reference, other than Nico, you're not allowed to get that. You're not allowed to say that you get that reference, because I know you get that reference. But if anyone else gets that reference, you score 1 fake internet point. Nico's disqualified. Mo Fuzz of Mo Fuzz Records. Tyler says, I will work for Forge World. I have a Chaos Titan that was a Chaos Warhound Titan that was aggressively disassembled. It's not broken. It's just not together. Started at the top, now we at the bottom. That's not how the song goes. Just want to get those lines before I start working in here, because this requires a bit of attention and a bit of finesse. Bit of spit. nice to paint again. I literally haven't painted since the last stream, so it's nice to get back doing what I do. You know how we do. Man, these bikes are so fast. So much red on them. Think about how much faster they are than the Outrider bikes that don't have red on them. Man. Just box that out. Box, box. Box this lap. Box, box. Box, box, box. Any F1 fans in the chat? Yo, I haven't even been watching F1 this year because it seems odd, like they're running these like empty speedways and stuff. Or are they allowed? Do they have audiences? I haven't even watched following F1 this year. You know why? Because F1's not going to get exciting until next year with the new regs. Like this year is like it's like the in between. Like we have the new regs for the next year, but we still have to live on these old regs from the previous one. So everyone's waiting for the new cars. And we've got these cruddy stand-ins, so hopefully... and I think everyone likes F1, right? Isn't it the second most popular sport in the world? Behind soccer? Or football? The football! Yeah, I know, yeah. Cube squared is bigger than Menudo in Iceland. Very good. Sorry, I need that video today. The Cube's got a tour of the Congo. Oh man, could you imagine? It'd be interesting to go to the Congo. I'd probably just worry about, getting drafted into a child soldier army or something. Because that's probably something that would happen. Oh. Sorry, my back is sore. Today was upper body day. So my whole upper body is sore. Me. I gotta get some more paint going on here. There we go. And then gotta go like this, and then like that. So that's because you want to pick out either side of the. Cause that'll just help your little ammo box here stand out. Yeah, there we go. Let's go around to the other side. Oh! The other side is crazy. There we go. And there we go. Oh, this is madness. This is the way of madness. Look at this. You have selected the way of pain. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta do something that sucks every day. And what I did that sucked today? Planks. Oh my god. You only realize how out of shape you are when you realize how limited your mobility is. Holy smokes. Yeah, planking is it's good times. Doing push-ups. That's fun too. This is... And once I've done this, I'll have to go back and finish the white. Good times. Tyler says some of the F1 races barely had audiences before COVID. The Saudi Prince with the tracks in the desert, for example. Strengthen the core. Yeah, that's ultimately what it is. It's all about those core muscles because they're so soft, and a lot of it has to do with that's why there's problems with the old backaroo, right? Is those core muscles get weak, and then you start pushing on them and start working them, and they go, oh. I didn't think I would have to work anymore. I thought I could just sit here and atrophy and become less of a muscle. There we go. And on this side, I'm actually gonna downbeat some of this a bit. By that I mean I'm just gonna go in and add some. This is just some more of the crimson. I'm just gonna try and put some of the shadow back in certain places. Just to darken it up a bit and provide a bit better contrast. It's hard for these stripes to. There we go. And now we move on to the gas tank. Ooh, very exciting. Painting the gas tank. This is the most exciting part of the day. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll turn it this way. There, I'm going up around that big metallic whatever thingy. The gubbins, the make it go gubbins, that we just all assume work because we're Space Marines and we have faith in the machine spirits of our motorcycles. That if we put Promethium into the sacred Promethium spot, make bicycle go now. There we go. Alright, and now the back. Welcome to the back of the motorcycle. Again, hopefully this is coming through. It's exciting to watch me paint. It's exciting to paint. I'm sure you can't hear that on camera, but I can hear it through the wall. My neighbor next door is just like coughing up a lung. It's like, that's literally exactly what it sounded like. You know, the joys of apartment living. Down like that. That's all you need to make that stand out. Go, ooh, ah. Like a layer cake. No, I'm not worrying about getting paint on the metallic right now. It's all got to be washed and painted anyways. So, getting this red done is a big. And we'll go around the same. So on his breastplate here, and the Space Marines have like double breastplates. I don't know if you noticed. So they have their like chest eagle Then there's like a chest plate. Then there's like another chest plate underneath that, kind of, that goes around. Anyways. Like any good space marine. Multiple layers of ceramite and adamantinite and whatever other ites their armor is made out of. Alright, let's do that face now. So, gently, gently. Very little paint on my brush. And I'm just gonna kind of swoop it across like this and try and pick up as much as I can, layer-wise. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Like so. Okay. This guy's head crest is going to be red, so that's fine. Move the back of the helmet here just to bring up color, and then across here, the very back. I have no idea what color I'm going to paint these guys' eyes. I just thought of that, because my mantis warriors have red eyes. I guess what I'll do is I'll actually do them like orange, because I'm not like a yellow. I'll do them like a yellowy orange. There we go. I need to go in there and shade down that face a bit, but that's mostly it. Need to throw some wash in there to shadow it down. I'm gonna do the shoulder pad now. Just clean up my brush. Eight. Oh. You have a much different opinion of good times than I. What did I say was good times? Was I being facetious or sarcastic or spasmodic? One of those. Anyways, here we go. So here's the big scales on the shoulder pad. Man, I wish I could be listening to music right now. You know what I should do? I should put on headphones and then I can listen to music. You can't hear the music that I'm listening to, and I can just talk over and be like, so yeah, I'm listening to some Earth, Wind, and Fire right now. So maybe I should just start a radio station. How hard can that be? How do radio stations get away with playing music? Because they have to pay a licensing fee, right? But that's not the way it always was. I mean, DJs used to get paid for playing records. That was payola, right? The payolas. Hey, anyone remember that band, the payolas? Well, that's what payola was the record companies paying off DJs, disc jockeys, to play music. Wow, what a different world we live in now, eh? Now it's you have to pay the publisher for the rights to play the music. Wonder how modern radio stations do it then. Because I can't, like, Do people even listen to the radio anymore? What's that one? They're all networks now. They're all like big radio networks now. Although we still have like the rock and roll radio stations in Toronto. Q107 is still out there, rocking it. FM. I have no idea what other. I guess I'm assuming that Chum music is still around. Chum FM, which is 104.5 Chum FM. And then on the AM, there was Chum AM, which was 1050 Chum AM. How'd they get away with playing? How come I can't play music on my live stream that isn't even monetized? I played like 30 seconds of Der Kommissar. And frickin' Sony BMG pulls my video until I remove that from it. Why? Do we really think that, like, somehow anything I do with it isn't going to be transformative? I don't know. Is that how you can get away with it? I don't pay enough attention, honestly. I guess that means I'm sure that I know that there's royalty-free music, but I don't want to paint to royalty-free music. I want to paint to freaking music I like to listen to while I paint. There we go, just to remind us that it's inside there. Radio stations pay royalties, exactly. They pay royalties from their ad revenue, right? But they didn't used to pay royalties. Is this some DMCA stuff? Some Digital Millennium Copyright Act? We need a DMCA for some people's minds, man. Deep. Yo, man, we need a DMCA for your mind. You got to be educated. She watched Channel 0, yo. There we go. So that red looks pretty good. I haven't done anything in the shoulder pad because I'm still trying to figure out this particular shoulder pad. It may end up... That's where I'm going to put the... I'll probably just put their assault symbol in there. So I'll probably just leave it red. I don't know. We'll figure that out. So it's 1:15. So I've been streaming for about an hour 13. And I'm gonna have to cut it there. Ow! Yeah, no, I've got a day ahead of me. I got stuff to do. I gotta pick up my kid from school. So yeah. Hope you I'm back on track. I will post this weekend what next week is going to look like in terms of what days I'm going to stream and what days I'm not going to stream. And I will theme the days that I am going to stream. I'm thinking of doing, like, if I can do 3, if I can do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday. Today being a Thursday, it just depends how my other routines and other schedules need to work out. But yeah, so there we go. Boom. Got some red done on that guy. It'll probably need one more highlight, and then I'm going to have to go in and fix his face with some wash and some more detail on the highlight. But there I am again. And there are my Iron Warriors. Iron Hands. And there's the Lord Mastodon. All right, let's pause. And let's talk about the Lord Mastodon. So this is a conversion that I did. This is my chapter master for my Iron Hands army. He is more machine than man at this point. Pretty much he's like a brain in a jar, and the rest of him is just this thing. And he has a hard time with stairs. But this is a conversion. So this is a Forge World rapier that Tyler, who's in the chat, provided me with. Additionally, a lot of these bits are Centurion kit bits. So from the Centurion, the shoulder pads, the chest, a lot of the gearing that you see in around where the waist, where the waist attaches to him. Let's see if I can go to the next slide. If it's more of him. Next slide. No. I've got more of him, though. I should. Oh, how come I've got this photo? Like, all right, let me see. Because there's more photos in the slideshow. I just don't know why they're not showing up. I've got, like, a pile of them. You know what I can do? I could show them off on another day. Because right now, for some reason, they're not showing up in the slideshow here. But yeah, so the great Lord Mastodon, as I call him. You can see some gearing up there. Those are some actual some watch parts. His hammer and his shield. That was made from, the shield is made from some what do you call it? Brass etch over a Space Marine Rhino hatch with some wires and pipes and stuff added into it. When I can do the 360s, we'll talk about it more. So on that note, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to quickly catch up on chat here, and then I'm going to head out and attack the rest of the day. Tyler wasn't paying attention for a second, then he heard his name. I was just saying that you provided me with the rapier bits for this Lord Mastodon, this conversion. So yeah. All right. So that's all for today. Definitely a low energy stream for me. I'm just trying to sort all this out and get this all working to where I want it, and find the life work hobby balance that we all strive for in the universe, right? So on that note, I will be doing a stream tomorrow, same work time, same work channel. And until then, I will see y'all on the